Hey guys, how do you do? It's Andy here. Today we are going to actually take a look at some of my old top 5s, top 8s, top 10s, all that stuff. Not all of them, but at least some of them. So, I think top 5 SMGs would be good. Yeah, maybe that, maybe this, I don't know. Top 8 favorite YouTubers. Now, I remember this video got a lot of bashing. Okay, let's see.
Guys, what's up? It's Chronic Things here.
So a bit of a cut up.
Today we are doing a top 8. Now most of the time
Can we increase the quality?
Just top 5s, but this time I said top 3, and this is gonna be my top.
I had like 7 YouTubers I liked watching, so I decided, okay, well, 8 seems more of a suitable number than 7. 7's weird. So
Favorite YouTubers.
I should have just stuck with 10 or 5.
One disclaimer that all these YouTubers have to be above 100k subscribers.
It doesn't matter, it's your list. I don't know why you'd put restrictions on your list.
So, yeah. Let's just go through with this, okay. So coming in at number 8.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say, like, the whole point of this video is just to really see my opinion, see how much I've changed with my expressions and stuff. I'm not gonna be like, cringe, cringe, cringe like I used to be. It's just, it's past those ages, it's time we grow up a little bit.
Kavos or Kavos or
Kavos. Okay, interesting pick. I could definitely see why. He was a very honest guy, and that was admirable. He was so honest, like, brutally honest. It was actually a little bit humorous. I don't follow him much now, but if I do see a video that interests me, or a video from the past, you know, involving, like, someone like SSS Sniper Wolf or whoever, I will definitely take a look at it once in a while. So, good pick.
How I pronounce his name. But what I do know is he's a pretty solid YouTuber. Now this guy, he does rant on YouTubers, but he gives proof of like...
Okay, yeah, that's true. He does give pretty eligible reasons, everything makes sense. He's not being like, this guy's retarded, and he's just retarded, have you seen that? Like, nah. He actually does incorporate a lot of facts. I'm sorry, that was a little bit immature, but you guys get the gist of what I'm saying.
Stuff that they're actually not what they seem to be. Like, example, Ruby Rube's parents, not really Ruby Rube herself, but, like, also...
That's pretty vague. I don't know where you were trying to go with Ruby Rube and her parents. It's common knowledge that her parents are the ones behind the channel itself. It even states in her about, or at least did.
So, like, Ruby Rube, Sniper, Derv.
He did pursue those people, yes, so now I can kind of understand. But either way, it just wasn't really a valid point.
This guy, he keeps it to himself, so, yeah.
He doesn't keep it to himself. He's public about it, and he's brutally honest, and he's pretty much correct. Probably 75% of the time, maybe 80, 90. I could definitely see why I butchered the pronunciation, because if it was just... Okay, so the way his name would be pronounced is, like, think of K-A-H, and then a dash followed by V-O-S. Kavos, right? Kavos, whatever, right? But the way I looked at it was, imagine, like, the S wasn't there. It wouldn't be Kavo, it'd be Kavo, or whatever. So, hence why I was confused about the pronunciation, but still. That was a pretty chubby guy.
8.
You mean 7?
Oh, coming at number 7, we actually have a really popular YouTuber. We have Alyssa Violet. Now,
Alyssa Violet. I don't know why I put her there. I mean, she's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, even to this day. I can get a few laughs from her, you know. She's pretty reckless, but in a funny way, so. She's pretty cool all around, but I didn't follow her as much as it would seem. So, nowadays, I probably wouldn't even place her in my top 20, but I do understand why. I mean, maybe I had a little bit of the hots for her, even with Banks of... I'm sorry, Banks, I don't feel like that. Oh, God. Oh, I'm gonna get sued or something. I'm just predicting it, but...
It's not really Alyssa Violet's YouTube channel itself that congratulate, but it's the video she appears in, you know. Her YouTube channel itself was pretty good, but I just think her being in other people's videos can go toward her.
I mean, that's true. Alright, so that's a valid point, saying how, like, you know, her reputation can build up in channels that aren't just hers, you know? That's true. And FaZe Bank was responsible for, or, well, kind of vice versa, I guess, because Alyssa Violet, I think, was much more well-known than FaZe Banks, and then some heat from, well, not heat, but more just Alyssa Violet's reputation went to Banks, and maybe some Banks' reputation went to Alyssa, so, yeah.
Until just because, you know, she's a YouTuber, so I think it goes toward her, even if it's not exactly on her channel. So,
yeah, fair.
The thing I like about her is, you know, she just does kind of standard vlogs. She's not a big person. She does have kind of an arrogant personality, but not in a bad way.
Okay. She's kind of her own leader, is what I'm trying to say. She's not dependent on what others think. Of course, you know, she'd probably like support from Banks and all, but she's kind of a lone wolf in that sense. She doesn't, you know, need permission to do her things. You know, she's proud of who she is. That's what I was trying to imply. Not that she's full of herself or anything.
Like, it's in a funny way. Like, if someone calls her cute, she's like, I know, but like, she isn't actually arrogant, but she does joke around.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of the whole Musical.ly video, FaZe Banks and Alyssa Violet. I watched that like a few months ago, but yeah.
I'm being arrogant, like, it's okay, Alyssa, no hate, I actually appreciate
No hate, not to this day, not any day. You know, whatever Jake balled it, oh Jesus. I still respect Banks and Alyssa, no matter the day. They're good people at the end of it, and even if I don't, you know, watch them, even if I don't follow them, I can at least acknowledge that they're respectable people on the faces of YouTube and in real life.
Okay. Coming in at number 6, this may be a surprise. I'm not a giant fanboy, but I definitely don't mind these guys. So coming in at number 6, we have FaZe Apex.
Okay, this was around the era where I'd watch a lot of FaZe Apex because FaZe was responsible for me, or responsible for introducing me into more of the FaZe era, and that brought me to Apex, so I can kind of see why I don't feel the same way. He's a cool guy, I respect him, you know, I wouldn't mind watching him once in a while, but I don't follow him to the same extent, or even close to the same extent.
I think he's probably, like, easily, like, the second best FaZe member.
Okay, second best. I think we have an idea of who will be in first.
And while being, like, into gaming the way he is, he's also a really good uncle toward his nephew, FaZe Baby.
Okay. I will give myself credit where that's due. The fact I acknowledge that his personal life, his personal relationships with his nephew, like, he shows that on camera, yes, but even acknowledging that he has paid a lot of attention to FaZe Baby, he looks out for FaZe Baby, I think that was good that I pointed that out.
FaZe Baby has been kind of a help toward his channel. Like, it's been help.
You don't have documented proof. You're just assuming. I know myself better than anyone.
Toward his channel, so.
A, why are my arms so stubby? And B, why are they just crossed? I look so, like, peed off.
I think he deserves 6.
Oh, you want to know why I'm looking to the side of me? Okay, so beside me, I'm sitting in front of my drum set, okay? I don't use my drum set except when I'm recording. But I had a piece of paper with numbers 1 through 8 and just listing who the YouTubers are. It's quite stupid.
This is probably my favorite FaZe member. We have FaZe Banks. Now,
wait.
After I heard about
FaZe
FaZe
Banks over FaZe Apex? Surely not.
And the Jake Paul controversy.
Unless I contradict myself.
FaZe Banks to see what was going on. And then, like, I realized that, you know what? He's a pretty good guy. I like how he's not really obsessed with gaming. He's more of a vlogging type of guy. And
okay, so, yeah, he is more unique. You know he's not much of a gamer. He does play games, surely, but he's paid a lot of attention to Alyssa, at least on screen. So, I could definitely see why I thought that, though it's not really proven, but it seems to be that way. When in reality, he wouldn't be in FaZe if he wasn't really a gamer, at least to my knowledge.
Someone that way it might not spoil anything. So, you know, FaZe Banks, he's in his unique little bubble with
If you're wondering why it's echoing and, you know, making weird noises, it's because everything's metal, so the echo's kind of just inside the drums and whatnot, so.
This, I mean, this is Rice Gum, and, you know, they're happy people together. They happy.
They're happy people together. I know what I was implying, but come on, tell me that didn't sound weird.
There's that, and I think that's always good to see.
Yeah, but stop staring at your script. It has the names of the YouTubers, nothing else. You're talking off the fly here, and even right now I'm talking off the fly. There's no script. Because I feel like when you talk off the fly, you're much more serious. You aren't manipulating, you know, your speech or anything. You're just talking straight.
Coming at number 4, this will catch you all by surprise. We actually have Poppy. Now,
Poppy.
It's not.
Oh
really
my God, Poppy. I'm Poppy. That's quite a little bit, kind of. That's a little bit iffy of you, little Andy. You know, he's kind of a strange dude. Oh yeah, I still am kind of a strange dude, but look, Poppy, number 4. Okay, even to this day, Poppy's doing her own Poppy thing, and, you know, I understand that, but to say that Poppy was my 4th favorite YouTuber, even then, looking back now, I don't think I liked Poppy that much. I certainly did like Poppy, you know, she was cool. She made cool songs, and she had this creepy demeanor that was actually pretty, like, it was enjoyable, to say the least. It was enjoyable. It was a little bit fascinating, all that stuff, but saying that she's my 4th favorite YouTuber just doesn't really qualify to be that high. I'd put her in maybe my honorable mentions if, well, maybe not even honorable mentions at this point. I haven't watched her in a while. I mean, I like to revisit her channel very occasionally, like maybe once every few months, but she'd be honorable mention nowadays at best.
her songs that I would give credit to as much as deciphering her vlogs. Trust me, it's always fun to decipher.
Okay, so that's a good point. It's always kind of like a little mini game to decipher the messages of her vlogs because of her creepy demeanor. She always did leave messages like, you know, she's talking about a shirt, and I remember there's this robotic voice, and, you know, when you raise the pitch, this guy just said, "Please read what is on the shirt," and, like, you know, it was kind of weird at first, but at the same time, you know, it was definitely just cool, you know? I always appreciated deciphering things, and nowadays, although I'm not as fascinated in it, I have this app, this music speech changer app, which I can change audio files at will.
See what they mean. And
look at the camera.
Vlogs, I noticed
you know, you're pretty good when it comes to just wandering around with your eyes and just trying to stay on topic.
that sometimes it can end with more than one conclusion, leading.
That's interesting, but if it ends with more than one conclusion, chances are it's just a controversial topic and maybe not a definitive answer. But I've been watching a while, so I wouldn't know.
Making one. So, boom. You know what I mean?
Don't be weird about it. I'm sure everyone understands what you mean. On to number 3, please.
And Poppy is creepy. There's been a lot of theories going around. I did make a video on her.
Okay, look, you just gave a brief overview. We get it.
Channel.
No, yeah. Something to do with what, Poppy being a robot, Poppy being Illuminati. I was such a misled,
I'm not gonna
like.
talk about it though, just cause, you know, this is a happy video. We don't want the sad stuff going on. But
It's not sad though. It's just a theorization, or is that even a word? It's just a theory at the end of it, and oh, pardon me. It's not supposed to be happy nor sad. It's supposed to be how you perceive it.
So she deserves number 4. Now coming in number 3, we
If you can.
have the Game Theorist. Now with the Game Theorist,
Oh, okay. I knew Mad Pat would have had to show up because he was the one who I think he was the one who got me the whole "is Poppy Illuminati" thought in my head. I think that was him who was responsible for it. So of course he'd have to show up on this list somewhere. All I can say is I was a bigger nerd than I am now, and you know, I don't know how you define a nerd, but just literally wants every nook of detail there is and things just to prove their point just a tiny bit more right, and I guess that's one way to define it. It's kind of, I don't want to call it controversial, but moving on from the whole nerd definition. Just, it makes so much sense. What are you?
This guy.
What are you doing?
Having like 8 million or.
What are you doing? I'm rewinding that. What are you doing? You trying to do the? No. I'm not even gonna do it, but it was hilarious.
Now with this guy having like 8 million or so subscribers.
I think he's like what 12, 13, 14 million now. I don't know. I don't keep track.
He's big and he's really smart. You know.
He's fascinating, and yes, he is pretty intelligent for sure. He's definitely an interesting type, you know. And I respect him, you know. He's pretty entertaining to watch it sometimes. I like the whole conclusions of his answers, but like if I had to watch him for an entire week, like
his friends help him out. He started out on his own and kind of grew as it went, kind of how I do.
Yeah, well, no. You started out with a bunch of people. The ChronicsCon existed for a reason. Stop trying to give yourself more credit than you deserve.
I've talked about in my Evolution of Chronix video how it kind of started. You know, with just me and then 2 people came and then just...
But those 2 people came before your channel came to be. Chronix was created in, like, what, February, March 2017? My channel was made June 1st, 2017. So the ChronicsCon already existed. And yes, my first few videos are by myself, but, like, you know... in all realism, there are people around, you know? So
you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Not much to say about him. He's a super smart guy, very entertaining to watch.
Okay, yeah.
Gives crucial points about the stuff
he's
trying to prove.
Yeah. He can put a solid chunk of solid evidence behind what he says.
Number 3. Number 2, we actually have the Smith Plays. Now,
the Smith Plays. Oh god, that sounded weird. I apologize, but Smith Plays was a good choice. Even to this day, I still enjoy watching his videos. Well, maybe not so much his Fortnite stuff, but I always like watching his old zombie videos. Although even I'm not much of a zombie follower, you know, Call of Duty zombies. It's always nice to watch, because then typically when I watch his videos, I get the urge to play. Like I was playing Origins this morning, and I did pretty bad in. Yeah, but moving along from that, I'm just saying though, it's pretty reasonable even to this day. You know you have a good YouTuber if you still have a similar reputation of that same YouTuber a few years later.
If I have not, he's easily like my favorite zombie player to watch now.
He's not a zombies player anymore. That's a sucky thing. You want zombies? You frickin' stick to Noah. You frickin' stick to Mr. Dalek. You stay away from the Smith Plays. And even Mr. Well, mind you, Mr. T-Lexify is still kind of into it, but he does react videos, so.
He is around 1.7 million subscribers, if I recall.
1.7 as of this video. He's like 2.4. His subscriber rate is considerably slow, but.
No, he's really good. Like, he does vlogs sometimes, and, you know, if there's a problem going on, he shares it. You know, he mostly...
But that's the thing, you can't solely like someone just because they're open about everything, you know. It can be a little bit frustrating when someone is going through troubles and they're always closed off about it because, you know, you feel kind of useless, you know. Sometimes you have the incentive to want to help them, and, you know, they're not giving you that opening, and, you know, they feel like... maybe you'll judge them, or they feel like it's beyond your control, so they're not even gonna give you a whirl. And I'm not gonna bash those people because, you know, I get it. People have different perspectives. People have different ways of coping. But even with that, I'm just saying though, like, just because you're 100% open or 100% closed doesn't make or break your reputation in my perspective, you know?
Zombies. Most of his lists are reasonable.
Majority, yes. Some of them I question.
Sometimes I do disagree a bit, but probably about 90% of his lists are actually like...
You don't have to throw statistics. Oh boy, here we go again. Okay, in grade 8, I had this issue where I could not pronounce the word statistics, and sometimes when I say statistics, it comes out statistics, you know? I cannot let go of the S. So, yeah. Sorry, moving on.
Really accurate. So that's why it comes in number 2. And before we get to the number 1 spot,
I have a feeling
I want
know
to
who
give a
this is.
few honorable
Okay.
mentions. First honorable mention goes to Relaxing End. Now this guy is...
He's a master at zombies. Compared to Smith Plays, the Smith Plays is not average. He's pretty high above average, but he's definitely good. Like, he's a solid good ranking at the game. The Relaxing End is more of a great / excellent.
like one of the best zombie players out there. Not the best.
He's not one of the best. He's definitely very good compared to, you know, your average zombies player. Definitely. By the significance of my reference to better is gargantuan, okay? Like, the Relaxing End is masterful in a sense, but there are people who are better than him. He's definitely probably top 1,000, top 100 maybe, but nothing better than like top 50.
Is he probably in like the top 15, top 10?
No, he's not that high.
This guy...
He could probably average around 1/250, or round, yeah, maybe round 1, maybe 250. But some people can breach that round 500, round 1,000 mark, so.
He knows what he's doing. He can't really mess up too much. He's got it within him. The only problem I have with him is that he doesn't do commentary or anything.
But he chooses not to. It's his choice. I can't really dislike someone because of the choices they make. Although I kind of can, you know, if they choose to be a jerk. But he's not choosing to do something that would, you know, drive away people. Maybe most of his fans appreciate the quiet game of zombies more than the guy who, pardon me, talk his face off in the middle of a game. Maybe you just want to enjoy the game, you know? Not so much the commentary. So he's definitely unique in that aspect.
No face reveal. Which I like how it's kind of a good twist, but just
I'd like to see what he looks like, you know. It'd be kind of interesting. Who's behind all this really good, skilled gameplay that we watch.
didn't work out completely in the end. Still funny to watch sometimes, though. And another honorable mention I want to give to Mr. T Lexify. Now, this guy...
Mr. T Lexify, okay. I thought he'd come up on this list somewhere. It's definitely good. I gave props to him. He's pretty good. He's not much worse than Smith Plays. I mean, personally, nowadays, I probably prefer Lex over Smith, but back then, I was probably a little bit more preferable to Smith, obviously, as you can see. But either way, a good call. What do I have to say about him?
Also, another YouTuber. Sometimes I think his
Yeah,
humor is a bit too much. No, trust me.
No, not anymore. When you grow up, everything becomes simple.
I'd be the first one to tell you that he's probably like one of the most funniest YouTubers out there.
He's definitely humorous back then and now.
Well, you know, he has his struggles here and there.
What struggles? He doesn't have much struggles. He doesn't have anything I'd say, well, I like Mr. T Lexify, but he does this so much, you know?
Sometimes he hates on maps a bit too much.
But it's funny. People appreciate the rants because they can get a laugh out of something that they didn't like. You know, they can agree and they can see the guys going nuts. It's funny.
And he is kind of harsh about transit. I don't consider...
I just said he rants on maps too hard, and I say he's harsh about transit. I basically just repeated myself with specified maps, you know. If I said he rants about maps, especially transit, sure, that makes sense, but transit is known for being bad, and it even got the nickname Tran and then SHIT as opposed to transit, but transit's not a good map. It's okay to play occasionally. I don't want to hate on it or anything, because I'm not so much of a zombies guy myself anymore. I come back when I feel like it, I leave when I feel like it. Either way.
Transit to be a terrible map. Yes, it's probably the worst, but I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10 at best. So that just goes to show how good the other maps are.
Well, yeah, there was... Oops, I'm sorry guys, I didn't mean to rewind
You know
you.
what I mean? like to say does rage a bit too much. I don't like how he's evolved into better. Create a storm the way he rages. Goes here and there. Sometimes he hates on maps a bit too much.
I'm sorry, guys. I really did not mean to put you through that.
He is kind of harsh about Transit. I don't consider Transit to be a terrible map. Yes, it's probably the worst. How good the other maps are.
But that's the thing. The other maps are good. You know, looking at all the good maps of all the Black Ops games, and even, well, we'll include World at War with Black Ops 1, but Kino was a good map, 5 was an okay map. I'd consider Call of the Dead of the good maps, same with, like, Verrucht and Durice. I love those maps. Looking into Black Ops 2, I like Braid, Mob of the Dead, great. Origins is excellent. Horizon's good, The Giant's good, Gorod Krovi's good, Revelations I like. Shadows of Evil's mediocre, and let's not talk about Zetsubo. And then we look at Black Ops 4, and I don't hate Voyage of Despair, it's okay. 9's pretty decent. Blood of the Dead I like. Alpha Omega I like. Ancient Evil I like. You know, there are a lot of good maps.
And then my last honorable mention has to go to FaZe Jev. Now with
Ooh,
FaZe
FaZe Jev. See, nowadays I'd probably put him like top 3, top 2, maybe even best.
This guy can rage. I mean, he can, like...
I know, and he's known for doing that. So many people like that. That's why they wanted to go back to how he used to be. But even then, there's always that part left in him.
And you know what?
But that was a storm that brought the laughter out of everyone.
It's super entertaining to watch. I like it when he just goes...
Okay, you don't need to exaggerate it, and that freeze frame is pretty bad, I will admit, but I'm just saying, though, like, FaZe Jev, he's hilarious, okay? Even if he is exaggerating his raging a little bit, it's funny. That's what it comes down to. It's funny. Who knew someone's anger could put such a smile on one's face? FaZe Jev can do something like that, and that's amazing.
With his desk and stuff, he's just like...
You're gonna break your drums, buddy. I'm surprised my dad doesn't do anything.
Okay, it's just going nice.
Nobody cares. Now you're looking like you're giving yourself pleasure. Oh god, this got sexual.
Yeah, that was just me kinda...
Okay, nobody cares. It's not about the subject anymore.
Just knocking my drums. Whatever. Let's get to
You should have told yourself that like 5 seconds ago.
So, yeah, funny guy.
Very funny.
Does rage a bit too much.
No, he
I don't
doesn't.
like how he's evolved into
If
a better
you don't
person.
like how he rages, then watch videos where he doesn't rage but tells a story rather. He has varieties of videos. His videos aren't always him just screaming at a game. He likes doing maybe kind of skits, like when kids get GTA 5. He likes reacting to his old videos. He likes, you know, taking the time to thank us for watching, and you know, I gotta thank him because he's a pretty good content creator. He listens to us. I mean, you make it sound like, you know, he's just grabbing chairs and doing whatever the hell he wants to with them, and I'm just saying no. He has more variety than that.
So the video, surprisingly, I like it when he's raging all the time.
Then you're contradicting yourself if you're saying he rages a little bit too much, but you like it.
He's rage occasionally, but he's definitely kept it more quiet.
But why do you have a problem with that? He's growing. He's not letting video games get the best of him to the same extent. Sure, he still screams even to this day, but he's definitely toned it down at least a little bit. It's not as common. It's common, but it went from basically almost every single minute to maybe once or twice a video. He only really gets bad when he's playing rage games, whether it's Getting Over It, Geometry Dash, Impossible Game, Cat Mario, Unfair Mario, that stuff.
Number 1.
Who's number 1? I think I know who it is. There's a Book of Ken. It has to be Book of Ken.
Number 1.
Why are you putting...
These two can outstand all the vloggers and...
He's clearly talking about Carly and Ken from Book of Ken. He has to be.
World at 1.1
Stop making it so dramatic.
million subscribers.
Try like 2 point... I think like 2.2, 2.3.
The fans supporting them every way they go.
Yeah, they had an incredibly fast subscriber rate.
These Americans can create a storm with their awesome vlogs and their fun.
So, Jeff can rage a storm, and these guys can create a storm with their awesome vlogs. Okay.
Content. The variety is as good as.
And looking back, the variety was good, but I seem to be exaggerating a little bit. It was either pranks, vlogs, maybe a few gaming videos, stuff like that.
Their performance. I bring number 1, Book of Ken. Now,
called it.
Book of Ken. Do that. A channel where he reads books and.
Surprisingly enough, you know, where I live, like, you know, my area and stuff, even at the school that I attend to, not too many people know of his existence. I actually only found like 1 or 2 people in real life that actually knew of Book of Ken, and kind of shocked me to say the least. He's pretty funny, and he's got a pretty hefty amount of views.
This guy, along with his girlfriend Carly, is just beast. Like
it's just beast. Like
these guys
I'm
have been
stupid.
my favorite YouTube channel for a couple of months now, and the thing I like.
Here's the thing. I like them. I don't mind watching them from time to time, and I think their content is, you know, a little bit more polished nowadays. Maybe not always as funny, but definitely more polished. You can tell they're putting more effort into it, but they're, well, I mean, they're uploading. It's not daily, but it led them to break up. I even ended up, you know, backing them up in an Instagram comment because one person was asking, well, where are the daily uploads? And I said, well, dude, slow down. It's like they broke up because of daily uploads. You know, part of me's thinking, well, if you're such a hefty fan, then like you should understand for yourself. I'm like, well, just give them some time, you know. It's just they've recovered from a lot of stress. Don't add to it.
About these guys, as I said, the variety is just.
At the point of this video, they weren't broken up. It happened maybe a little bit after.
It's just outstanding the way they did that, and like.
Okay, I don't want to, you know, stick to one video too much, but, do we have any comments? Nope, disabled. Yeah, that's what's been happening. Also, I did start school today, so that, yeah, and also, yeah, I know I didn't upload yesterday, so, yeah, okay. I don't want to look at Fortnite too much. I don't really enjoy Fortnite, so. Let's see what we have. Let's check out, Minecraft Story Mode. Cause, did you hear that Telltale was bought by I think, what is it, LCG Games now? So, Big B Stats was saying how there could be a potential Season 3 for Minecraft Story Mode. And I like both seasons. I'd say I prefer 1 just a little bit over 2. Because 1, there was 8 episodes.
Guys, what's up? It's
so let's take a look here.
Today, we're actually going to be doing the top 8 episodes of Minecraft.
Look at that, 2 top 8s in a row.
Basically, worst to best, you know, get on with them. So,
It's worst to best, basically top 8, not the other way around.
Coming in at number 8, we have episode 6.
Episode 6, okay, I can already tell why, but let's see what he has to say.
Episode 6 was really hyped, considering that most people thought that there would only be...
Yeah, that was intended. The series was supposed to end at episode 5, but I guess for a lot of order, like, there was this huge time span between episode 4 and 5, like, normally, on average, Telltale would release an episode once a month, and, well, that was a pretty big scale, not gonna lie. But, like, there was probably 2 or even 3 months between episode, 4 and 5, and I was, like, thinking, well, what's happening? Is everything okay? Are they gonna, like, add this very cool finale? And it probably turned out that they were spending time, implementing stuff for episode 6 through 8 and stuff. Making discs and stuff, because I had to make a separate, disc, for the deluxe pass, and they had to implement the adventure pass, which was episode 6 through 8, which I bought.
Episode 1 to 5, and then when 6 to 8 came in, people were super hyped for this, and I felt like it was kind of a disappointment. I don't despise this episode like I used to, because when I played it, I kind of enjoyed it.
I did go through a phase where I did not like episode 6 whatsoever. I hated it.
But the reason why I think it's the worst out of others is just because it felt really cliche to me. Like, yes, it has some really
that's
cool
fair
stuff in it, like YouTubers, but I felt like this was all Scooby-Doo and too cliche.
That's true,
Now,
but
that's not to say that.
you know, that's an interesting way to put it, considering that episode 6, ironically enough, was loaded with multiple references. I think there was a Star Wars reference. There's a lot of things.
You know, Telltale made a bad choice. You know, I think they might have been able to do this a little bit better, but that's why it gets great.
You know, considering what they had to work with, the implementations of YouTubers were really cool, and it even stuck around partially for Season 2 in relation to Stampy and Stacy Plays, so... I'll give episode 6 credit. Wasn't a great episode. I'd say it was a good episode. Would I play it again? Most likely. Will I enjoy it more than even this video? Like how I did in this video? Most likely. Number 7 is?
For number 7, surprisingly enough, this is also another kind of a bad choice. We have episode 8. Now,
oh, okay. Okay, let's see what he has to say.
Episode 8, I felt like it was a really cool concept.
It was.
But the
It really
with this
was.
concept is, why play minigames on here where you literally just press a couple buttons and analog sticks in a certain direction once every like 16 years when you can literally go on Minecraft and almost play them fully.
You mean go on Minecraft and play them fully, but that's actually a pretty valid point. Why would I waste my time on Minecraft Story Mode, which is basically an interactive Minecraft with a few button presses here and there outside dialogues and stuff, while I could go on Minecraft and play most of these games for myself? That's a valid point.
Even Minecraft PC where you can do so much more.
Even Minecraft Bedrock, do not exclude that.
Felt like this
Minecraft
was just
PC
really
though.
Slow pace for a game, for an
That
episode
is true.
dedicated to minigame.
That is true. You only end up playing like 3 minigames, and that's a racing minigame, the Walls minigame. Well, then you also have a battle, but that's the Walls minigame, the race, as you're watching here, and Spleef.
But I thought it did pass as a final episode for season 1. So
That's a little bit debatable. It did feel awkward to say
that's
the
why
least.
it gets number 7 and not number 8. Now coming in at number 6, this one's also kind of a bad choice, but in my opinion, you know, my list, my opinion, you know.
Yeah, let's see what I have to say. I'm thinking it's gonna be episode 5. I have that feeling. Maybe episode 5. I want to say episode 5.
I felt as number 6 had to actually go to
Oh, episode
Episode
1.
Now, do I have problems with episode 1? Not really.
It felt a little bit
Apart
slow
from it being
paced.
kind of boring, kind of a slow
Yeah.
paced episode.
You can tell with this, like, my passion for Minecraft Story Mode has always been actually pretty high, but you can see I haven't changed that much.
It does have to kind of be like that, just so you adapt to it quickly. But one part I really did not like about it is the fact when you're walking through Endercon, that just feels like you're spending like an hour there when you're not.
That's true.
But like, apart from that, it was perfect start for the series, and it was a good...
The whole EnderCon thing, that makes sense, you know, trying to find Ivor. It's not really spoilers, because it's the first episode, right? But, yeah, trying to find Ivor was a pretty slow thing, but it led up to a pretty
story
cool
overall
mob.
for this episode, but it does get number 6. Now, coming in...
Fair point. Okay, so number
5
5 is probably going to be 5
I
then.
think I actually made a reasonable,
Choice. Pick.
choice here. We actually have episode 5.
Yep.
Now, with episode 5, this was the final episode.
So, I guess when I say, you know, it's reasonable, it means I enjoyed it. So 6, 8, and 1 were episodes I was a little bit mad about, but 5 was the first one I enjoyed.
We had no idea how they were actually going to end this.
Yeah, my prediction was immediately it was going to be some celebration episode. You know, something significant was going to happen to conclude the series, because episode 4, we destroyed the Wither Storm completely. So I was thinking, okay, well, what's going to happen? Is female Jesse with Lucas going to get married, and Petra and male Jesse going to get married? I don't know.
It's not the final anymore, but originally, remember...
Yeah, that's how... Part of me thinks that it was intended to incorporate episodes 6 through 8. I don't know.
Episodes just 1 to 5, as I mentioned when talking about episode 6. Now, what a roast, okay. So,
Your face is an ugly hazard.
so the positives of this episode was, it brought on the Portal series, where to some people,
The Portal series was definitely an interesting concept.
1 to 5 is one series, and 5 to 8 is a different series.
1 to 5 is one series, and 5 can't be contribution to 2 series. It's just an overlap. And in the case of it, I can tell you, this isn't an overlap. 1 to 4 was its own series. 5 to 8 was its own series. And then season 2, 1 to 5 was its own series. And then, yeah.
No, 1 to 5 is one series, and 6 to 8
There you go.
is another series, but no, it's 1 to 4, then 5 to 8, whatever.
Yeah.
Just getting past that. It did start up really well, but I felt like it just kind of dragged out in between the entire story and between the intro to it. Now, I felt like this episode was kind of a good idea to start with, with there being Sky Island, but it's pretty...
No, it was actually a pretty cool concept, but one thing that's always bugged me is where the hell did they get all that gold from? Sky Island consists of like 4 diamonds, 6 iron, stone, obsidian, sand, and a block of dirt with a patch of lava and 2 patches of water. And gravel.
Inaccurate, since you can't even get gold on a Sky Island.
Oh, look at that! I said that.
Blocks and blocks and blocks of iron. If you don't even know there's void below you.
There is 6 iron, and obviously you could... I have to wonder who really founded Sky City. Was it the founder? I don't know. Well, wait, no. Well, she's called the founder for a reason, right? But she seems pretty young. Like, if Minecraft Story Mode characters had ages, which I have every right to believe they do, like, I think Ivor on the screen here is probably approaching 40s, if not already. Well, Jesse's probably lurking around the 20s era, along with all his other friends, but the founder can't be anything older than like 30, so I kind of wonder that. Was she 10 years old one day, stumbled in a portal, found herself in Sky City, and thought logically to herself and said, "Look at all this sand and dirt. Time to build. Here's my palace, here's the jail, here's the secret build club I don't know about. Okay, everyone, start having babies and get on my island."
So that's why...
Okay, I'm sorry, that was very immature.
5. Now, number 4.
Okay, number 4,
I
okay, so that leaves 2, 3, 4, and 7. Ooh, I'm gonna say 2. I
probably think this episode would be around number 6. But I'll be honest.
I think it's 2. I'm gonna say 2.
This episode is a bit better than I used to think it was. It's episode 2.
Bingo!
Now, with episode 2, I thought that this episode was a good continuation of episode 1.
It definitely was. I enjoyed it.
Ellegaard or Magnus's place
2 was good. I liked 2 quite a bit.
With the Witherstorm, this episode definitely started off pretty nice.
It brings us into 2. It ends 1 very well. 2 starts off pretty well, based on the order member you chose. You go to their land, you check out the place, and you kind of do your own little thing based on where you went, whether you want to help Ellegaard with the command block, or you want to face Magnus in the Boomtown battle thing. Regardless, ultimately both members come, and then it leads up to Soren, which puts you to episode 3, and that was really cool. Theoretically,
it was a bit dragged out, but when they got to Soren...
Theoretically, you'd think it'd actually be pretty lame. You get 2 members, and you go find the other one, But no, it's actually
it ended
well
up pretty
paced.
well. That's basically the entire episode right there. Before we specifically
Get back here.
take me
Olivia's
more
line.
time to explain. Whatever.
Come
it's a
back
nice
and
episode.
fight.
As I said, kind of drags a bit in the middle, but
I wouldn't say so. The middle consists of the trip to Soren's Fortress, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, and then I think it was ultimately kind of like the first third of it, trying to do all these stuff.
Anyway, now down to number 3.
Okay, so there's 3, 4, and 7 left over. I'm gonna say 3. I think 3.
I actually really enjoyed this episode. This episode is a really cool concept.
Okay, maybe it's 7?
Properly introduced.
Because 3 and 4 have the same concept and, can't be its own single episode because, you can't count double episodes for one spot, but so it has to be 7 because it's one single concept, while 2, 3, 4, 4. Well, even 1 if you want to include it, were like one big concept of its own.
We have episode 7.
Okay.
Now with episode 7, it's just generally really fun to play.
Just watching that clip. Why am I so shaky though? I don't care how shaky I am.
7, it's just generally really
I like how Jim's on his
fun
face
to
and
play.
we're so
Cool
disgusted.
concept for a computer.
You
meant
have
to
been
try
made
help
useful.
everyone goes berserk is kind of bad, but
Wait, excuse me? What are you on about? I'm sorry, I've been talking.
really fun to play.
It is
A
fun.
cool concept for a computer.
It was actually really fun at the time. Like, you know, when I first saw the preview, because there's this little image at display, and I saw Petra with red eyes, I was thinking, well, is this like an alternate version of themselves or something? So then I played the episode and I realized they're trying to get shipped, and I'm like, well, this is actually pretty cool.
Is kind of bad, but
The what?
I hope everyone goes berserk is kind of a cool concept for a computer meant to try helping everyone goes berserk is kind of bad, but
What? A cool concept that a what?
you know,
I'm tripping over words here.
the story worked out great. How it played out worked out great. It didn't really drag out too much. Apart from
Nope.
the puzzle areas, I just like getting up and go.
Okay, the puzzle areas of any sort's always gonna drag in my eyes.
The start of it
I
was
like
pretty
action.
funny, and then I like how they had.
It wasn't even funny. It made sense. You know, Petra's going to be that type. So to see her explode, you know, makes sense. You know, she's desperate to go home, and you know, I'm surprised the others were able to keep it together so well. But it wasn't anger. I'd be like, well, why are you being like that? Because it was justifiable. Maybe a little bit forced, but definitely justifiable. I understand.
Disagreements against each other. I thought, you know, after all the stress, that was appropriate to put. So congratulations, Telltale. This gets number 3. Now number 2.
Okay, number 2. Oh, this is a hard one.
I used to kind of not like this episode.
Okay, so I don't know what it's gonna be. It could be 3 or it could be 4. And I just said I kind of used to not like this episode. I think maybe 4 because I did not like the music 4.
Not too much about it.
I'm gonna say 4. I'm gonna say 4.
For number 2, we have episode 3.
Oh, okay, 3.
With episode 3, it was something new. The episode felt longer than the last 2, and that I found that as a good thing.
Yeah.
It was fun non-stop.
Yeah, maybe the
it was
Enderman
super
part
cool,
was
you know,
a little
Soren's
bit on
kind
the
of
slow
whacked
side,
out
but
guy
everything
trying
else
to
was
train
really cool.
Enderman. And the fact that that worked out so well was really cool. And the cliffhanger they put at the end was absolutely...
That was phenomenal. No lying, no being easy. That was phenomenal. That was awesome. Okay, I'm gonna mention exactly what happened because that was awesome. So, basically, you go to Soren's fortress to find Soren, and then you get this F-bomb. The F-bomb is supposed to be crafted with 8 gunpowder and super TNT. You then create that and it makes the F-bomb. The F-bomb is supposed to explode within a certain amount of time. The Wither Storm presumably eats the Formidabomb, and it's completely destroyed. And then you go in between, like, it's torn body parts. I know it sounds gory, but... And you try saving the leftovers of people, you know, people that are conscious, alive, all that sweet stuff. And then, like, you see the command block still standing, and, you know, I'm kind of thinking to myself, whoa, why is this happening? And then it sucks the command block right back in its body, and it's awakened again. And, you know, just about as Jesse's about to be absorbed or whatever by the command block, whoever you did not save back in episode 1, so either Petra or Gabriel, saves you. So as the Wither Storm's rebuilding, you tell your character, hey, let's go! Petra or Gabriel. And then they turn around with this blank stare in their eyes. And they say, A, who's Gabriel? Or B, who's Petra? And that was like such a cool cliffhanger. Because at this point there was 3 Wither Storms. It went from 2? Or no, it went from 1 to 3 like that. Your plan backfired completely. You got a member back, but they don't remember a thing. That was phenomenal.
Perfect. Now, do I have any problems with this episode? Apart from the start being really boring and the intro is not that good.
What? No, the intro was actually pretty cool. I will say, a mob grinder, you know, doing a bunch of platforming, you know, kicking mobs behind. That was actually pretty fun.
By intro, I mean the start, not actually where you're falling down in the grinder.
Okay. You should have said, like, the, you know, oh, no. I don't know how you'd phrase that. You could have probably just said, you know, the very beginning and then, like, the intro was really cool.
But,
Okay.
you know, this episode is a tad bit boring at times, but apart from that, it gets number 2.
Every episode has that boring aspect, whether you try very hard or you try not. It's always going to have at least one bad aspect. There's no perfect
If you
episode.
guys did your math right, you already know what episode
Go through process of elimination. It's clearly 4. Let's see what I have to say.
What? It's actually kind of surprising to some of you.
No, 4 was an awesome episode. I enjoyed 4.
You know, let me just kind of add a bit of a build-up. With
No.
this episode, lives will be lost.
Lives were
The
lost.
gang will have to find a way to attack the storm.
Stop. You're
Chaos.
not that narrator on season 1 of story mode, okay? You're not that guy.
Destruction will be caused. An event
Will be caused. It was caused completely.
to the Farlands is inevitable.
Stop it.
Episode 4.
Yes, episode 4.
Guys, episode 4 is easily the best episode in my eyes because of the way how clever Telltale was when they, you know, made that way to kill the Witherstorm.
It was cool. I like that. That was really cool. It was almost proving that Enderman and Withers, or Wither Skeletons in this case, because Wither Skeleton is to Enderman as Wither is to Ender Dragon. So it's really showing that. That was really cool aspect, just to show that the bosses, as long as with the little species that go by it, are basically against each other. It's almost a chance of, it was almost like a scene of rivalry the more you talk about it. And Endermen end up helping you.
There's not too many problems I have with it. Apart from this episode it's either you love it or you hate it at some parts. And I felt like the Mason swap part I didn't like, but like everything else I absolutely loved.
Okay, I see what I'm saying. So I'm just saying, like, you know, there's a few parts that you really don't like, and then all the other parts that you really don't like, you absolutely adore. And I'd say that's pretty accurate. I mean, the whole witches thing, it's okay, but the whole maze, I think, I get that they have to aim for a certain amount of time, you know, hopefully at least an hour, maybe hour and a half. And I think this episode was about an hour and a half, but...
One of the spoiler alert. Ruben does unfortunately pass away due to fall damage falling down the wither to sacrifice himself to save the world, which is pretty difficult to handle sometimes. Dan TDM, you know I'm talking about, you don't.
Yeah, Dan TDM did have... Poor Dan, he had a lot of trouble handling it, you know. I mean, Ruben was a pretty cool character, I will admit, you know. The guy who was in a dragon costume who could roar with such fierce. You know, he was awesome. He was a unique pig.
So, like, this episode ended in a really good way. There was a way you could kind of, sort of end it. You could choose what weapon you wanted, and when you put enchantment on different weapons, they each have a slightly different camo, like, I believe.
They each have a different texture. They look different. So I think if you put, like... I think if you put it on a diamond hoe, it looks orange, while I think a diamond pickaxe is more gray and purple. And while if you put it on an axe, it kind of almost looks like a half of the pufferfish. I can't remember what the sword looks like, but it had a lot of different variations, and that was cool.
If you put, like,
Stop.
I believe the enchantment book on the pickaxe.
Okay, well, I think we'll stop there simply because, you know, I'm going on a tangent. But I'm going to have to go. As you can see, my battery is pretty low. So I will see you guys in the next video, alright? So peace out, nerds. Bye!